What's going on, YouTube? Brandon here.
Adam here.
Thanks for watching D.M.H Productions YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over a new piece of rack gear that we have received. So what it is it is the Behringer Ultra Gain Digital ADA8200. And what it is it is a 8 input, 8 output ADAT audio interface. And essentially what you do is you use a Toslink cable and you hook it up into the ADAT of your other interface that you have for expanding 8 inputs. You can use this as a standalone preamp. It does not have a USB, so it is not an interface. All it is a digital ADAT interface expansion, or just a 8 in, 8 out preamp. And we're going to go over how we have it ran with our Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. And it's got some pretty decent preamps. They're Midas Design preamps. It's got 24-bit converters. It is 44.1 or 48 kilohertz sample rate with a internal/external world clock. And it pretty much hooks up to any interface that has a ADAT connection. So it's a pretty nifty little setup. And it does have a clock on the back of it, and we'll get into that here in just a few minutes and go over how we hook it up to our Scarlett interface, and added from 8 channels to 16 channels. So now we can leave the drums mic'd up and have another 8 channels for miking guitars, vocals, bass, whatever. And you know, we don't have to start scavenging for, you know, where we're going to plug in what. And you know, we got the flexibility to start running more mics on the drum kit and get a bigger sound, and hopefully it pays out and starts turning out some better quality music.
Yeah, I mean, don't knock it till you try it. I mean, Behringer is I think they're highly underrated.
I do too.
For the products that they make.
I mean, that's just like the Behringer T50 head that we're using for all this. That is actually made by Behringer. Behringer and Behringer are sister companies. I'm not really sure who started first or whatever, but I know that if you go to any Behringer booth, you're going to see Behringer stuff. Or if you go to Behringer booth, you're going to have Behringer stuff. They're sister companies. And, you know, back in the day, some of the Behringer amps was pretty cool, even though they have solid state. And I really enjoy all the Behringer amps that I've had a chance to play on and own. And so pretty much we're just going to go over how we hook this thing up to run alongside our 18i20 Focusrite interface. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so there is the Behringer ADA8200 right beneath our Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. There's the 18i20. It's a great interface. Okay, there's the Behringer. It's got a sync button for making it the master or the slave on the clocking of it. And right below that you'll see the phantom power, which is green, and that means that phantom power is not engaged, which whenever you engage it, it turns red. For some that might throw them off because you always think red is disengaged and green is engaged, but to me it symbolizes do not plug up a dynamic mic, because you will blow up the diaphragm in it. It's got Midas preamps, as it says right there. It's got a line input on the front and a mic input on the front, and then on the back it has mic outputs and I believe line outputs as well. It is 8 channels. It's just a good little Alright guys, so you can see right there is the ADAT input on the Focusrite 18i20. That little silver cable right there is a Toslink cable. That is ran from the output on the ADA8200 to the input of the 18i20. Okay, down here on that, which is the 8200, you see it's ran from the output of that. Then you set the sync on the Behringer to be master at 44.1 or 48.0 kilohertz. I use 44.1. Okay, so that is how you get them to talk to each other. Set the Behringer as master, and then you take the toslink cable out on the ADAT output. You run it from the out on the ADAT of the Behringer to the in on the Focusrite 18920. Alright, the next thing you're going to need to do is pull up your Focusrite control. Okay, you're going to go to device settings. Over here, it's going to show your sample rate and your clock source. So make sure that your sample rate is the same as the sync option on the back of the Behringer, which it is. It's 44.1. Okay, and then your clock source is going to go set to ADAT. Since the Behringer is the master, you need it to clock to the ADAT of the Behringer. So you set that to ADAT. Okay, and that's literally all you have to do. Close out of this. All right, let me show you what you got to do whenever you pull up your software. For this, we're using the Studio One 3.5 Professional. I'm going to go in and create a template that I already have laid out. And it's just going to load in our normal tracks, which we have drums, vocals, guitars, bass. But in our software, we go right down over here to the in and out. Okay, it brings this little tab up right here. Okay, as you can see, we're on inputs, and it only has 9 inputs, which we only have 8, but for some reason it always loads up in mono. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that one. So I have 8 inputs. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Mono 8 times. Okay, now I'm going to scroll all the way down. See, now I have 16 inputs. And you see ADAT 8 through ADAT 1. And you also see SPDIF 1 and SPDIF 2. You do not need to run SPDIF unless you have something else connected to the SPDIF inputs. So you literally just click on each one of the ADAT, working your way up. And see, the SPDIF right here is not being used. So it technically shows that you have 18 different channels. So you have 18 different inputs because the Focusrite is called an 18I20, which means 18 input, 20 output. So on here, it's showing all 18 inputs when we're only utilizing 16. So that's all you have to do to get all 16 channels to work with the Behringer ADA8200 and the Focusrite 18920. You could go in and configure outputs because you have 20 different outputs, but we're not running any outputs except for output 1 and output 2, which is our monitor mix outputs. So that is literally all you have to do, and it will work just fine. It has worked for us. And if you have any issues, just comment on the video, and we'll see if we can't help you out. But thank you for watching. See you next time.